Everybody tracks the business they're getting. How do you track the business you're missing? There is a way to do that, and Mitzy Dadoun knows what it is. Mitzy, how do we track the business we're missing?
Well, it's an interesting question. What you want to be doing is figuring out, what's going on with your website, your landing page, getting people there. So what we've invented is a call widget that goes onto your website. It can do texting back and forth, and it continues the texting even after the person is off the website, which is very unique. And they can also call you. So what it does is when somebody lands on your website, it's going to pop up and give them an opportunity to put in their contact information and request either a phone call or a text. The very cool thing about this is it will immediately dial and call you, the business owner, or any of your staff, and it can call up to 5 of your staff at exactly the same time. And whoever answers first will pick up the call. But from the customer's experience, what they get is they feel like you phoned them back instantaneously. It's like, hi, I'd like you to call me. And boom, all of a sudden you call them right back. And, as you say, what happens is a lot of times people land on your website, but they then go and they check out the next website, right? If you don't get back to them right away, they go and they check out the next website of whatever this, who's your competition. And we've had some really interesting stories with this. One of them, we have our call widget on a banquet hall. And they do, like weddings and bar mitzvahs and, big events. So one of the neat things too is that it records the conversation. So when we go back and we're kind of listening to it, we can use this for training for the business owner and for their staff as to how calls are being answered. So we were listening to one of the calls for this, for the banquet hall. And basically we hear something to this effect. Oh my God, I can't believe you called me back. And they're like, oh, well, yes, well, you just requested us to give you a call. So, I'm calling you back from XYZ banquet hall. Yes, but I've called you guys and left messages 3 times before, and you guys didn't get back to me. And this was going to be my very last call. I absolutely love your facility, and I really would love to have my wedding there, but you guys weren't calling me back. And at this time you called me back in 15 seconds. I can't believe it. Well, fast forward. And it was a 600-person wedding. That call and calling them back instantaneously, my client got that wedding. Well, as you can well imagine, if somebody's having 600 people at their wedding, it's a pretty big payday for the banquet facility. So
when they were about to lose,
which they were about to lose, and they wouldn't have even known that they lost it. But it was because we went back and we listened to some phone conversations. And, that was the other part of it was, how many other times have there been that somebody didn't get a call back, or the way in which your staff answers. When we were listening to the calls, they had 3 different staff that worked at different times that would answer. And we listened to one of the person's calls, and they were very happy and friendly, and they called and were very engaging with the customer. We listened to one of the other staffs and they were okay, but they didn't have the enthusiasm. And then we listened to one of the other staff, and honestly, they sounded mean. It was like the customer was annoying them for them to call. Well, that was huge insight for the business owner as well, because they could play those recordings and have those conversations with their staff and use it as a way to educate them about how they should be making those calls and what things should sound like. So that's a huge, huge part of it as well, is that part of it. And we can also take, if somebody has a landline, with most landlines, we can have the texting made for that as well. So we can actually take a landline and make it so that it can be text enabled and they can be having those conversations.
And so that's just a simple ad and some monitoring, and you've made a huge difference. You got away from the one's too hard, one's too soft, one's just right. You got everybody into answering the phone the proper way and responding to people immediately.
Absolutely. And it's something that, it requires, really once we set it up, the people are just answering the phone, right? There's no extra training or educating or things that need to be done to bring this on, but it can make a huge difference in making sure that you are engaging with those clients and having those opportunities to turn somebody landing on your website into an actual conversation, right? Because you have to have the conversation to get the business.
Right. Now, how do people who are interested in this now take advantage of this with you?
Well, you could go and check out a little bit more about the call widget at mddigital.info. You can reach me by email, mitzy@mitzydadoun.com.
Easy to remember.
Yeah, or you can send me a text or give me a phone call at 416-993-2532. And I love texts because I can see them quickly. Sometimes emails, right? You get so many emails. So I do love a text, I will admit.
You love it when people tell you how to get a hold of them. Mitzy, thank you so much for sharing that device and those stories with us. That wedding story is remarkable.
My pleasure.